I got about 10 minutes before I have to go do tutoring, so may as well do some recording here. Instructions for this little subset are to factor by finding the zeros, the y-intercept, the x-intercept, and the end behavior. I'm not going to do 4. You're going to have to factor it. All right, I'm going to do 5. I'm actually going to modify it. I'm going to put a -2 here, okay? So I'm going to change that problem a little bit. I want to find the zeros. The zeros are easy. The x-intercepts happen when y is 0. So I say 0 equals -2 times x plus 3 times x minus 1 times x minus 4. And I just use the little cover-up technique. If x plus 3 is a 0, x is -3. The number of kids I teach every year who just can't grasp this concept blows my mind. If x minus 1 is a 0, x is 1. And if x minus 4 is 0, x is 4. These are my x-intercepts. I'm going to cross at -3, or touch at -3. I'm going to have an x-intercept at 1, and I'm going to have an x-intercept at 4. All right, the y-intercept's a little bit harder. The y-intercept happens when x is a 0. So I'm going to replace every x I see with a 0. Y is -2 times 0 plus 3 times 0 minus 1 times 0 minus 4. I'm going to do the math. I know I lose some kids when I do this, but I'm not supposed to. 2 times 3 is -6. Times -1 is +6. Times -4 is -24. And I'm not going to grid this thing out to -24. I'm just going to pick a point and call it -24. Now, end behavior that is caused by the power function. It's this one here. This is end behavior here. That's the power function. This one I do some near math. I do -2 times x times another x times another x. And I get -2x cubed. I've given you all a couple of these little easy quizzes at the beginning of class. That thing is supposed to start high and it's supposed to end low. So here's what it's going to do. It's going to come in from up high and it's going to pass through that point. All right? It's going to drop on down to -24 and then it's going to turn. And it's going to shoot on up to that x-intercept and it's going to come back down and pass through that one, and it has to keep going low. That's the graph. That's how hard that skill was. It's not a hard skill. Find the zeros of the function. Describe the behavior of each of the graph of each at each zero, i.e. crosses or touches. And these should be in your notes for 3.5. So we're going to do some factoring. We're going to say 0 equals this thing, and we're going to start factoring. I notice all three terms have an x. If I pull an x, I have x squared minus 8x plus 16. X squared minus 8x plus 16 factors as x minus 4 times x minus 4, which can be rewritten as x times x minus 4 squared. So now I get to talk about my zeros. I use the zero product property. The first one says x is 0. It has a multiplicity of 1 because there was an understood 1 there on the x. This crosses the x-axis. The second one, I say x minus 4 is 0, which means that x is 4, and this has a multiplicity of 2. Even multiplicity touches the x-axis. And that's how you do 5. I don't want to do all of these. I'm going to leave 6 and 7 for y'all. 8 is